Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, man. So I want to send a shout out to Blue Blood Sports. This is just real talk, and I'm not being sarcastic or nothing. So don't try to go on Blue Blood's channel trying to instigate, because I already peeped what you guys are doing. You guys are like that song Ice-T made from his classic album, 1991 OG Original Gangsta. Some of y'all niggas is bitches too. Real talk. Go check that song out. But just got home a few hours from work, so I had a chance to watch some videos. So I saw a video by Blue Blood Sports, and he basically was talking about Danny Garcia. Apparently, it looks like he's once again turned down the fight with Terence Crawford. At the end of the day, this is the stuff that I've been telling you that's been going on with a lot of this goofy stuff, the string pulling, behind the scenes, and people being puppet masters and people talking people out of fights and telling them to take less money and they'll hook them up on the back end for the next fight, But Danny Garcia apparently looks like he turned down Terence Crawford again for a fight. Now, I don't want to hear this stuff about Jerron Boots Ennis, that Terence Crawford need to fight him. Jerron Boots Ennis don't got the experience. At the end of the day, he don't got the resume. And it's just a lot of different things. He isn't a belt holder. He isn't a mandatory. It's just a lot of different things. But just please don't make me go there with Jerron Boots Ennis. He's a excellent up and coming fighter, but at the end of the day, we all know the fight that we want to see. And what better way to build up for this fight is to see how Terence Crawford could do against somebody like Danny Garcia. But it appears that Danny Garcia, who had many of us believing that he was going to move up to 154, has decided, at least for the time being, to stay at 147. But he doesn't want to fight Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is a promotional free agent, But you hear all the excuses about he needed to do this, he needed to do that, and he still can't get certain guys. Now, I reported back in 2019 that Danny Garcia, the night that he fought Adrian Granados, and by the way, I was at that fight, I covered that fight. The night he fought Adrian Granados, Terence Crawford fought Amir Khan at Madison Square Garden. Well, that fight at Madison Square Garden could have been Danny Garcia. But you hearing Danny Garcia saying that he got made a lowball offer, and both Bob Arum and other people confirmed that Danny Garcia was offered $3 million to fight Terence Crawford. And he wasn't allowed to take that fight, or he turned down the fight, or he got talked out of that fight, but he took 1.2 to fight Adrian Granados. I'm just saying, this has been a ongoing thing. But then again, even if he would fight Terence Crawford, let's just say Terence Crawford defeats Danny Garcia and he stops Danny Garcia, well, the excuses are going to fly. People will try to discredit Terence Crawford and say Danny Garcia was coming off a loss or whatever. He a leftover from air. You would just hear the excuses fly, because at the end of the day, people have it in their head that they just are going to discredit Bud no matter what. And the funny thing is, you got these clowns that be talking a whole bunch of that pro-black shit. And that's why I'm going to stay on you guys' helmets, because a lot of you dudes are hypocrites and you frauds. Now, I promise you that ain't nobody probably going to make no videos calling out Danny Garcia and saying that he's ducked Terence Crawford. Well, at least maybe I heard this may be the third time he did ducked Terence Crawford and turned down the fight. I guarantee you there ain't going to be no videos going in on him, but you got people making these videos trying to insinuate that he's ducking Jerron Boots Ennis. But keep in mind, there was no videos made when Jerron Boots Ennis, after his last fight, called out Errol Spence. They started hollering that boxing is business and all this kind of stuff, and Errol Spence gains nothing from fighting him. But then they'll say Terence Crawford should fight him to prove himself. I mean, fucking idiots. I mean, it's really difficult to listen to some of these dudes' channels because they just full of it. And like I said, this is black media doing this. And everybody's watching the hypocrisy that's going on. But Danny Garcia, he been turning down Terence Crawford. And it's funny, his father then said all this kind of stuff about Terence Crawford, calling him a nappy head and all this kind of stuff. And you hardly ever see people making videos about how Danny Garcia's father has disrespected Terence Crawford. I bet you there won't be no videos made about how Danny Garcia has turned down Terence Crawford once again. But I feel vindicated because, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, Blue Blood just vindicated me. But I guess I was lying when I said it. And once again, this ain't no diss towards Blue Blood. So every time me and Blue Blood cover a fight, we chop it up, we eat and stuff and congregate and politic. So, this isn't no beef towards Blue. This is more towards the fanboys in the comment section. I promise you none of these content creators go make videos calling out Danny Garcia for ducking Terence Crawford again. But if Terence Crawford even breathes wrong, then here these dudes come talking all this negativity about Terence Crawford. But these are the same people that'll say Terence Crawford need to mess with black media. Why would Terence Crawford mess with black media when he get treated like this by black media? So I'm just keeping it a buck. This is just real talk. I've already said this has happened. So you disregarded when I was saying it. So now all of a sudden, when somebody else says it, then it has some merit to it. It just shows you what type of people is really on YouTube and stuff. That's just real talk. This kind of shows you what type of people that you're dealing with. They don't want to hear the truth. But I promise you, Danny Garcia ain't gonna get no backlash. I promise you people ain't gonna make no videos calling him out. Because like I said, a lot of these content creators is about, putting out propaganda. And I don't have a propaganda-based channel. I try to be as fair, objective, and, neutral as possible, for the most part. But I am keeping it a buck. Danny Garcia been doing this. He been doing this. He don't want no smoke with Terence Crawford. But like I said before, you listen to these agenda-driven content creators, and they will only tell one side of the story, which they've been doing. And like I said, certain people, they have an issue with me because I refuse to fall in line and participate in following the script where they want me to say certain things. And I'm not going to do that. But no surprise to me, Danny Garcia did this. Danny Garcia has turned down fights before, but I'm trying to figure out how is $3 million a lowball offer and you took less money. And people are hollering about, well, why didn't he give Danny Garcia $6 million like he gave Amir Khan? Well, it's a question of whether Amir Khan actually made $6 million. That's just a rumor. And Bob Arum said, well, at the time, Danny Garcia should have tried to negotiate. What are you supposed to do? But this is what I'm talking about. You say Terence Crawford ain't trying to fight the best guys when he actually is, but he's not allowed to fight him. So what's the excuse now that he's a promotional free agent? I smell bullshit. Just keeping it a buck. This needed to be said. Anyway, this your boy Town Biz. I'm out.